Is open. This is fun. Let's go. Laura, excellent.
Well, welcome everyone to our daily meditation online. We thank you so much for joining us here. This is hosted by the Buddhist Studies Institute, which was founded by Pema Chödrön. And during this season of practice, we are live streaming on YouTube and Facebook. So we're so delighted if you're joining us from one of these places, and welcome to our members as well. So today, my name is Laura, and myself and Nawang will be your hosts today. But our meditation instructor, we're so excited to have Michael. Michael is training to be a certified meditation instructor here with the Buddhist Studies Institute. So he's going to lead us in our practice time today. We'll practice together for about 20 minutes or so. And then we'll come back and we'll have Nawang share with us one of the 5 daily precepts that we are practicing here so we can integrate our study and our practice time. We will be sharing those at the end. So thank you again for being here. And without further ado, Michael, I look forward to you leading us in practice today.
Thank you so much, Laura. Thank you, everybody, for joining me today for our daily calm abiding meditation. And with every practice, we begin by placing our hands together with our thumbs tucked in between our palms, placing them at heart center, and invoking the refuge prayer. I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. I take refuge in the Lama, the Yidam, and the Khandro. I take refuge in the channels, winds, centers, and their nature, the bodhicitta. I take refuge in complete openness, lucid presence, and compassion. Oh, mesmerized by the sheer variety of appearances, beings wander endlessly astray in samsara's vicious cycle, in order that they might find comfort and ease in the luminosity and all-pervading space of the true nature of their minds. I generate the immeasurable love, joy, compassion, and equanimity of the awakened mind, the heart of bodhicitta. Sentient beings are numberless. I train in order to free them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I train in order to transform them. Reality is boundless. I train in order to realize it. The awakened way is unsurpassable. I train in order to embody it. Ulova. Excellent. So with every practice, we'll establish a proper posture, 7-point Vajra posture. Most importantly is to remember that you want your hips at a slightly higher level than your knees. If you're using a chair, make sure you're tucked all the way back in your chair with your feet nice and flat on the ground. And we can have our legs crossed in front of each other if we're sitting on a cushion or on the floor, just to make sure that your hips are slightly higher than your knees. And we can take our backs and we can elongate our spines and straighten our backs up to our neck and spread our shoulders back and allow them to fall naturally to the sides. And we can tuck our chin in just a little bit so that it stays in line with the spine. And then we can imagine that there's a thread rising up from the crown of our heads, just slightly holding us here in this posture, and come down to the front of the eyes as we gaze softly across the bridge of our nose to a space about 1 or 2 feet in front of us on the ground or on this surface in front of you. And our tongue can rest on the roof of the mouth right behind the front teeth. Our jaw is soft and relaxed. Our lips are slightly parted or just lightly touching. Our abdomen is relaxed and our bellies are soft. Our back backs are straight once again. Our hips are higher than our knees. And we can take our hands, and for a little more grounding, if you feel that that's necessary, we can place them palms down on our thighs. Or for a little bit more energy, we can place them palms up on our thighs. And as always, in the gesture of equanimity, one hand inside the other, thumbs touching or not. And for today's warm up for our calm abiding practice, I think we should just do some simple double exhales. And with a double exhale, we will fill our lungs all the way up to capacity and breathe out with a nice, long, even breath. And when we've gotten all the air out of our lungs, we can kind of push out a little bit more by pulling our belly in towards our spine a little bit. And we'll breathe in deeply until our lungs are full. And we'll breathe all the way out until they're completely empty. And when they're empty, we can push the excess air out by just pushing our belly in towards our spine just a little bit. And let's do this 3 really mindful times. 3 double exhales at your own tempo as we inhale. And when you're finished with your 3rd breath and all the air is exhausted and you've squeezed out your excess breath, we can come back to the center of our breath again and just breathe evenly in and out. For today's practice, we will be utilizing the Om Ah Hum method of calm abiding. In the Om Ah Hum method, as we inhale, we incite internally with the word Om. And at the top of our breath, held ever so slightly, we will recite internally with the word Ah. And as we exhale, we will recite internally with the word Hum. Once again, the Om Ah Hum method. When we inhale, we recite internally Ah at the top of the breath, held ever so slightly with the word, or inhaling with the word Om, and held ever so slightly at the top of the breath, internally reciting Ah. And as we exhale, we will recite internally Om. And this is the method that you will use when you become a little bit lost or distracted. If this occurs, the minute that it happens, just come back to the beginning of Om Ah Hum once again. And I'll pop in once or twice during our practice today to remind you of the method if you happen to get a little bit distracted or lost in your practice. And so let's meditate with this method for about just under 20 minutes. And we may begin. This is just a gentle reminder that we're utilizing the Om Hum method for our calm abiding practice today. On our inhales, we recite internally Om at the top of the breath, held ever so slightly. We recite internally Ah, and as we exhale, we recite internally with the word Om. Okay, we can begin to slowly drop the method and rest for a few moments in a free meditative state. Just allowing your awareness. And after we've rested for a moment in a free meditative state, we can place our hands back together at heart center as we dedicate the merit of this practice today. May the teachings of the Buddha spread and flourish. May the Dharma be practiced day and night. May the benefit for self and other be fully accomplished. And we can bow.
Thank you so much, Michael, for that beautiful practice. It was lovely. And now I'd like to invite Nalong to share with us one of the 5 precepts so we can integrate study into our practice.
Thank you, Laura. Hi, everyone. Let's go with avoiding false speech today. And the one word that kind of caught me there as I was getting ready today was avoiding. It's really nice that we're not being asked to completely, no way, we're being asked to avoid. Because I think we've all had those situations where we're kind of like, yes, you are beautiful, or yes, it's a wonderful time, or whatever we say for the benefit of others. That's our intent a lot of times, and maybe that little vagueness, if you will, or a little avoidance. So anyway, just thinking about that, and I'm going to get into it here. All right. Abandon false speech. I avoid taking refuge in the lie of dualism, ever advancing toward less manipulative, self-protective, deceptive speech. I refrain from using my speech for rationalizing neurotic views and behavior. I refrain from all bigoted, sectarian, racist, sexist, judgmental, and arrogant speech that condemns others. I avoid harsh speech, gossip, useless chatter. I develop increasing capacity for deep listening and authentic communication. I train my speech and emotions in order to use speech with nonviolence, empathy, sensitivity, and kindness. I use kind speech to set appropriate boundaries and respect others' boundaries in calmness and clarity. I respect confidentiality and respect the disclosures of others. I refrain from offering unsolicited advice. I recognize that silence or withholding can be a misuse of speech. I speak up to prevent others from being harmed by racism, sexism, abuse, and other forms of domination. This is avoiding false speech. My word of the day, avoiding false speech. And that's where I'm at thinking about today. Thank you for letting me read that to you. Very excited to have you all here for that.
Thank
Laura?
you so much. Thank you so much, Nawang. And thank you to all who have joined us online today. We'll be ending our live stream at this time. But again, thank you so much for being here. And we hope you'll join us on one of the other weekdays and weekends, 7 days a week. We are here in our season.